Hey y'all, it's Kristen again. I've been having a noticeable pattern arising in my conversations with people over the last few days. And as the official canary in the mine in my personal community, I thought it might be useful for me to share some thoughts in a broader way. The energy out there is really intense. And for those of us who are really sensitive, there has probably been some insomnia floating about for anywhere between the last 3 to 7 days. I've had trouble sleeping for almost a week and a half now. And for me, it feels very similar to when we were dropping into all of the other waves of COVID. This is exactly what happened for me. There's also this sense of agitation, a little bit of frustration mixing in places where we hadn't been feeling it before necessarily. And of course, it's not going to be the same for any two people, but there are some patterns arising as the collective is starting to come to terms with a new wave of COVID and feeling its own exhaustion. And even that is actually a set of symptoms of a much deeper reality, which is that frequency is rising. And when that happens, anything that is below that particular baseline gets shaken out, rises to the surface. We have to, in some cases, re-experience it to some extent, or it flashes through our consciousness in some way as it's leaving, which is why it is such an important practice to not grasp. Things are coming up, old feelings, old friends, old anxieties, memories, old habits, and allow them to flow is my suggestion. And this is what I keep repeating to everyone. It's okay to be uncomfortable right now. That's just par for the course. There is only so much we can do to counteract an enormous sea change moving through the human and planetary collective. And luckily, there are these ebbs and flows that can be mapped in various ways. But we've had sort of a sweet and sparkling break during most of this summer for many different reasons. Some of it was real, some of it was an illusion, but now we are coming back down to reality a little bit more, and that can be hard psychologically, and it is certainly difficult for those who feel everyone else's struggle with it. It is in fact pretty common right now for a lot of new dimensional healers to be feeling pretty powerful in their lives. It's not that everything is great. There may be a lot of stuff up in the air, a lot of uncomfortability floating around. But a lot of us have gone through a journey of clarification and empowerment over the last 18 months as our missions have come online. There's a relief in finally fitting somewhere in a certain way, since most of us have experienced a profound sense of loneliness or oddity, stranger in a strange land. And as those are shifting, as we're starting to come together more, as greater conscious awareness is starting to rise up in us individually and as a collective, that means we're also feeling more deeply. That means our physical bodies are much more impacted by energetic shifts than they were a year ago. So take good care of yourselves. Bring in the energies that support you. Allow space for extra nourishment and extra rest. Hold compassion for your process and the process of others when possible. It's going to be uncomfortable for a few more months. We're trying to birth ourselves in various ways, and that is almost never. I will not speak for everyone. Almost never a walk in the park. It is big and often violent work to make manifest something enormous and complex and beautiful. And that is what each and every one of you are doing right now in your own way, even if it doesn't seem like it. Even if it feels like you are down in the mud of all of your trauma and muck and having trouble getting outside of the energetic influences of others. You're exactly where you need to be right now. The profundity of your day-to-day work, simply in persisting, simply in moving in the right direction, simply in giving yourself rest and time and not falling prey to the propaganda of the masses. Protestant work ethic, sacrifice yourself for the dollar bullshit. We all have to find a way to balance and to be in the world and in society. And also, this is the time for us to start carving the way that actually works for us. And in shining that light, we create blueprints for others to follow. So, if you are feeling overwhelmed, agitated, irritated, uncertain, insecure, if you're feeling like you're running in place, not making enough progress, not moving quickly enough, I'm going to invite you to drop down into your pelvis. Allow your awareness to just move from its buzzing, swirling bee's nest experience up here down into the body, little by little, breath by breath. And just allow the relaxation to move through you, because keeping the energy hoarded up in the upper body will not do anything for your goals. It will slow you down. And once you finally reach the pelvis, dropping down into the feet, and bringing this awareness into your everyday, especially as you awake and as you go to sleep. In the middle of the night when you're having trouble sleeping, it's not necessarily going to change anything in a way that seems like a miracle, but it will start to tune you into a different baseline. Because as the collective is climbing and climbing, and it will continue for a while, we don't want to get pulled up with them, right? Energy follows attention and intention. So bring your attention to where you want your energy to be. Bring it down, feed it to the earth, let it leak out the bottoms of your feet like a great fire hose. The earth is hungry for all of that excess, all of that disruption and shadow, everything that you are done with, because you are done. It's just the process of releasing the conditioning and remembering what's existing underneath. So, go easy on yourself. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just some choppy waters we're moving through right now. And by Monday, this coming Monday, there will be a little bit more of an adjustment. Final note on sleep that's coming through right now from Spirit. It is powerful to set an intention around your sleep. It's a good practice for us all right now, and going to bed to go ahead and visualize a bubble of light around ourselves, our room, our home, whatever's feeling the intuitive match for you in that moment. But knowing that anything within that bubble is protected and a little bit more quiet. That will be my practice tonight, at least. Let me know how that goes. Let me know how things are moving for you. How is the sleep moving? Is anybody else feeling this sort of swirling, growing crazy? Sending a lot of love to you all. Ciao.